Kia ora. We are learning to write a speech. This video offers you 6 tips for speech making. You may have heard some of the speeches from these famous people below. Some of these quotes on here are what was included in their speeches. A person who can deliver a speech that is very powerful and commands the audience to listen to them and to be engaged with them is a very special person indeed. We start off trying to hook the reader. So you want to hook your audience with an interesting statement, fact, or question. You don't want to try putting too many ideas into your speech. Remember, you're not writing a story, you're writing conversationally for your audience to listen to you. A very famous hook, which stands out in my mind, is the start of the Greenpeace video for saving the orangutans. There's a orangutan in my bedroom and I don't know what to do. She plays with all my teddies and keeps borrowing my shoe. She destroys all of my houseplants and keeps on shouting ooh. Straight away, I found myself hooked in and wanting to know more about this particular issue. Write like you talk. People will hear your speech, they're not going to read it, so it's really important that when you're delivering your speech, you're using conversation, words that you would say in a conversation rather than words that you would write down to inform somebody of a story. There are some key points that can help you with this. Use short sentences. It's better to write 2 simple short sentences than 1 long complicated sentence. Use contractions and say I'm instead of I am, we're instead of we are. Don't use big words that you wouldn't use when talking to somebody normally. You don't have to follow all of the rules of the written English grammar language. Like this. See? Got it? Hope so. So try to write like people talk. And always read your speech aloud while you're writing it. You'll hear right away if you sound like a book or a real person talking. Use concrete words and examples. Concrete details keep people interested. For instance, which is more effective? A vague sentence like open play spaces for children's sports are in short supply. Or the more concrete, we need more baseball and soccer fields for our kids. Which of these 2 would make you want to listen more? Get your facts together. Facts for a speech are really important. You want people to believe you. You want them to know that you know what you're talking about. So you'll need to do some research. Your speech will sound really strong if you have the facts to back it up. How do you pick one? A good idea is to look inside yourself and find out what you feel very deeply about. What are you passionate about? What makes you tick? Maybe it's the environment, or maybe you care about stopping war. You might have an issue or an idea that you want to develop further. You may feel passionate that all schools should have more art and music classes. Your issue should reflect who you are and what you care about, because if you believe it's important, that's going to be carried over in your speech. You want to persuade with a classic structure. So in a speech where you're trying to persuade someone, the classic structure is called a problem and a solution. In the first part of your speech, you say, here's my problem. Here's why things are so terrible. Then in the next part of your speech, you're saying, here's what we can do to make things better. Notice it's what we can do, not what I can do. Sometimes it helps to persuade people if you've got some statistics or other facts in your speech that can back up what you are saying. And sometimes you can persuade people by quoting someone else that the audience likes and respects. Have a think who that might be in your life. Simplify. After you've written your first draft of your speech, read your speech aloud before you do anything else. Once you can hear it with your ears, you will know if you sound like a person talking or if you sound like your page from a book. Go back to your speech and look for words that you can cut. Words that you may have wrote to make your speech longer but are not needed when you read them aloud. Go back and look for words that paint a vivid picture for your audience. Cut out words in a speech that can make your points clearer. All of these things can help you simplify your idea and come across a lot more polished when delivering your speech. Your turn. Use these as motivators for a speech. Write a hook, so an opening sentence like the example I gave you from the Greenpeace ad on There's a Orangutan in My Bedroom. School should be 4 days with a 3-day weekend. Money shouldn't exist, people should have what they need. Children should be in charge of the world. So write a hook for each of these and then come down to your workshop and see your teacher. Until next time.